morning. In this lecture video, we're going to talk about how to use moles to figure out how many atoms of something that we have. So remember from the last video that moles are just a name for a specific number of things, specifically 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd, right? So we're going to figure out if we have a certain number of moles, how many actual atoms is that? So we're going to be doing some calculations. You might want to revisit how to do the dimensional analysis from chapter 1 if you struggled with that, because that's what we're going to use going forward. So let's get started with the first example. How many atoms are there in 5 moles of zinc? Now remember that the 4 questions that we kind of want to ask as we go through these is, what are we starting with? Okay, well, we're starting with 5 moles, so we're starting with moles. All right, what are we ending with, or what do we want to end with? We want to end in atoms. How many atoms do we have? What is the conversion factor, or what is a conversion factor that we can use? Well, we know that in 1 mole of any substance, there is 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd atoms. Sorry about my dog. Atoms, all right? And how accurate that number will be, we'll deal with that at the end. So here's how this works. We're going to write down what we started with, right? We started with moles. We have 5 moles of zinc. And remember, I like to put the 1 on the bottom just to make it a little bit better. We want to cancel out the moles of zinc, so in order to cancel that out, we have to put moles of zinc on the bottom and figure out what conversion we're going to use. Well, we know up here that 1 mole of zinc is going to contain 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd atoms. And we know that the moles of zinc then will cancel themselves out. So if we stop here, the unit that's left is atoms. Is that what we want to end with? Well, we look up here, we wanted to end with atoms. Yep, so we don't need to do any other conversion. We would just multiply 5 times 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd atoms, and we would get 3.011 times 10 to the 24th atoms of zinc in 5 moles. Okay, so here is our answer. We got the atoms that we wanted. We started with moles. All right? So again, we're just going to be doing simple conversion factors using this dimensional analysis because, again, you can check to make sure where you're at, and it helps make sure that your answer is accurate. All right? So let's try another problem. This one I want you to do on your own, so pause the video, and then when you're finished, you can push play again and see what happens. But again, what do we start with? We're starting with 2 moles of hydrogen. So we have 2 moles of hydrogen, right, over 1. And then we're going to end up, we have to put moles on the bottom here so that they'll cross themselves out or cancel themselves out. We know that in 1 mole of hydrogen, in 1 mole of any compound, any element, there are 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd atoms. Okay, moles of hydrogen cross off each other. And the units we have left is atoms, which are the units that we want. And so this will end up giving us 1.20 times 10 to the 24th atoms. Right? Perfect. So there we go. These are how you can take moles and figure out how many atoms are in a mole of a substance. If you have any questions, holler. Otherwise, you can start with the next lecture video, which is we're going to be a series of videos looking at how to convert between grams to moles to atoms.